Hey everybody, Stephanie McFeld-Sharon, Dream Coach here. Just want to share with you some insight that I had today. When I was first married with my first husband, whenever we would go out in public, I would often hear, either while we were out or when we came home, that I had spoken too much, I had been too loud, I had too often been the center of attention, that just a long list of things that I was not doing right in his mind. And when you love someone and you are in a relationship with someone, those things can really get to you. And because why would they say that if that was not something that was true? So I would start to question myself. And when I would go out, sometimes he would even say something under his breath so that nobody else could hear what he was saying. And I started to get a little bit more quiet, and I started to basically dull my shine. And I didn't even realize that I was doing it. It was easier to try to deal with, because the human emotion, we're just amazing creatures, because we try to acclimate to whatever surroundings that we're in instead of realizing we don't have to acclimate. It's like that story of the frog, that if you put the frog in the boiling water, it's going to jump out. But if it slowly rises up in temperature, it's going to stay in there and boils to death. Well, luckily I didn't boil to death. So I decided to get a divorce, as you know, and I had some people over to kind of celebrate that I had made this decision finally. There were a lot of people that were very, very supportive, very happy that I'd made that decision. And one of my good friends came over and she gave me this plaque. And I'll put it up there. Not sure if you can see it, but I'm going to read it for you. It says, "Be who you are, say what you feel. Those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind." And this plaque, I don't know if you got to see it when it was in front of the camera. I'll kind of show it to you again. But if you can see, it's kind of worn. You can tell water splashed on it. Well, this sits in front of my sink. It still right now sits in front of my sink. And it's been an amazing thing to read every single day. And when I was first going through those really tough times in the beginning, I just remember looking at this and saying, hey, if somebody really loves me, they would be okay with me talking loud sometimes, or they would be okay with me, talking to people. And because I always like to go and talk to people. It's just what I have always liked to do. It's part of who I am. And I kept saying this, repeating this to myself over and over again. And it started to be more real and resonate more and more with me. And then I started getting to the point where I didn't really need to read it, but it was nice to be reminded of it every time I washed my hands. And still to this day, it sits there. And I watch it and read it when I wash my hands. And the amazing thing is that because I made that decision to get a divorce and then work on myself, when I did find my now husband, I found someone who loves those things about me. He respects the fact that I can be sometimes the center of attention, or I like to speak my mind, or that I have this, ongoing energy all the time. And all of those things that I was told in a previous relationship that were not good. This relationship, those are actually the things that he really loves about me. So if you're ever in a situation where you feel like someone is dulling your shine, if they are not allowing you, and actually, if you're with them, you're kind of doing that to yourself, because you do have that chance to leave. But if you feel like they are trying to tell you that you are not allowed to act a certain way, and that's part of who you are, you really want to think about whether or not you want to be in that relationship. Because the reality is there is somebody out there who loves all of those things that somebody else said was something negative about you. Know yourself. Trust yourself. Listen to your gut. Listen to those feelings. And remember, you are way stronger than you realize.